the road win. I could feel it. It's about to be a 4-1 trip. I think this was a great test. They overcame Steph Curry and his excellent performance, and they hung their hats on the defensive end. I felt like they got stops when need be, and they moved the ball, Scal. Actually, Kemba was aggressive. He added some great points tonight. And Jaylen Brown, he didn't have the best night, but he impacted in a great way. And Jason Tatum was just phenomenal. Shout out to Tristan Thompson, too, with 13 and 8 in 25 minutes, 5 for 5 from the field.
Yeah, I think the story of this game was rebounding. If you look at after the first quarter, Celtics had just 2 offensive rebounds. They ended with 12. They pounded the glass in the third quarter. They controlled the glass in the fourth quarter. And the emphasis on the rebounding allowed them to have multiple opportunities. They did a great job on the offensive board, getting it, kicking it out, and then moving the ball and getting great opportunities from there. So you're right. There's a lot of guys that had good performances throughout, but across the board, it seems like the double big lineup is starting to pay off when it comes to stuff like that, being gritty, being tough, rebounding the basketball.
I mean, I agree with you. I'm not sure that works every night. Tonight, the Warriors already playing without James Wiseman, their rookie, the number 2 draft pick because of a wrist injury, and then Kayvon Looney didn't play at all in the second half. So the Celtics certainly had a size advantage, Perk, and they took advantage.
Yeah, absolutely, and they dominated on the glass. And what they did something great in the second half was they started making Draymond Green take shots, and he couldn't make them. And Kelly Oubre, he couldn't make them. You know, get the ball out of Steph Curry's hands. You'll live with others trying to beat you. But that big lineup was phenomenal tonight because all Tice has to do is knock down 1 or 2 3-point shots, and it makes him honor, and it makes the defense honor him. And he did that tonight. I thought him and Tristan did a great job of pounding the glass. And Grant Williams, he came up huge on the defensive end of it and on the offensive side. He stood in the corner. They passed him the ball. He knocked down timely threes. He went to the line besides the last 2 free throws and stepped up and hit his free throws. I mean, he was, 4 for 6 tonight? I thought he played phenomenally. He was that spark and that fill-in for Marcus Smart. And the different guys go be in that role every single night for the Celtics.
And that's coming off a DNP against the Lakers on Saturday, Scal. How hard is that to do? A guy like Grant Williams. He's had 2 of these games.
Well, the one thing about Grant is he does a great job of holding those corners. So anytime Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, even Kemba Walker, they're all driving to the basket trying to score. If you don't have an opportunity to score because the defense collapsed on you, those corners are your last outlet. And I think Grant understands that more than most guys on this team. He understands that it's not just about, hey, I don't know if I can make the shot, take the shot, whatever. It provides spacing. If you make one, like Perk said, Daniel Tice only has to make 1 or 2. If you make one of those shots, next thing you know, Jason Tatum's turning the corner and going one-on-one at the basket. He's going to score that ball. So it's really important for the Celtics to hold those corners. I think Grant, of the entire team, I don't think anybody does a better job than Grant Williams at getting to the corners and flattening out the defense.
Perk, we're going to look at this fourth quarter run from the Celtics, but before we go to the tape, I just want to give you your flowers. All right, Draymond Green, 1 for 7 in the game on the night. Scal, take me through this run.
Yeah, offensive rebound, layup. And that's what it was. It was go ahead and take whatever shot you want. The size of the Celtics affected the Warriors. See Grant on the defensive end, blocking shots, moving the basketball, good screen by Grant. Like, I just love Grant with the starters. I think he does a great job of getting guys open looks. Once again, what are we talking about again? Offensive rebound and 1.
Oh, by the way, Daniel Tice getting 2 good calls coming down the stretch for the Celtics. That was important. And Jaylen Brown, Perk, you said it, had a rough start, but came through when the Celtics needed him.
Yeah, absolutely. Never hung his head, never got down on himself, stayed in the moment. He drove and attacked the basket a few times, didn't get the whistle, didn't let that affect him. I thought he had a couple questionable calls on the other end, but he stayed in the moment. He came up with a big steal, got out in transition, ran the court, and had a thunderous dunk, which I thought set the tone and really had the momentum swinging the Celtics' way.
Yeah, it really did feel like that dunk, that series took a lot of wind out of the Warriors, Scout.
Yeah, and I think it did. And once again, I think it went back to the size advantage the Celtics had today.
Boy, what a tough loss for the Golden State Warriors tonight. They're tied with the Celtics late in that fourth quarter, and they waste a solid, that's an understatement, a monster performance from Steph Curry, 38 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. But before they embark on this 4-game road trip to Texas, the Warriors drop one at Chase Center to the Celtics by 4 points. And welcome to Sportsnet Central Warriors Edition, presented by Toyota. The Hall of Famer Chris Mullin, former Warrior and NBA champ Darrell Wright, and correspondent Hill here. And we're going to talk right off the rip off that fourth quarter run by the Boston Celtics, tied at 96 at their Curry layup. And the Celtics take control of
rebounding was a tough proposition for the Warriors tonight.
Yeah, it definitely looked like they closed the game out right there. Their stars stepped up in the big moments, and Kimber got it going. You seen Jaylen Brown right there, the and one, and then the dunk down the middle. So I think the second chance points is those offensive rebounds the Warriors gave up late in the game. No real size out there on the court. It really hurt them down the stretch.
You talk about rebounds, Mullin. The Boston Celtics out-rebound the Golden State Warriors 51-36. And a lot of it had to do with Kevon Looney, as we have an injury update from Looney here. Second quarter, sprains his left ankle. I'm not even sure what happened here late in the second quarter. Tries to get the rock right there, just a false step. What you see there, Mully and Darrell? What you see?
I think it's one of those things. I think he's seen out of his peripheral vision somebody coming to rotate, and he probably just, missed the step and sprained his ankle. You hate to see this, especially with a short lineup now with the Warriors and the injuries they've been going through. They really, really need Looney out there. So this is a tough one right here.
Their margin of error is really small. And you look at the injuries here, Marquise Chris, we talked about how valuable he was to the team.
Wiseman, of course,
6
rebounds. And Smiley Geach hasn't even got started yet. It's brutal. The center position, man, it is depleted for the Warriors, Willie.
Yeah, and their defense has really come a long way. We talked about their field goal percentage defense, number 2 in the league. Shot blocking, they're number 10 without Wiseman. That obviously is affected by that. And their three-point defense has improved. Right. But tonight, the Celtics, they really just took over with talent, right? The depth. They're a type of team, they make tough shots and take tough shots all night long, but that's what they live on. They're kind of an ISO team, Darrell, but with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown has struggled all night, but he made some big plays. But Tatum, he makes these step-back threes, and you do contest him, but it doesn't bother him because of his size and his length.
Yeah, it's that good D, but better offense.
Correct.
And he gets to his spots. He's really, really good at getting to his spots and rising over the defender. Jaylen Brown as well. Right. He gets to his spots. And Kemba Walker, I think he came out and had a great game tonight, trying to bounce back from last.
Aggressive from the start, Kemba Walker. You saw him close there in the fourth quarter, but also Daniel Tyson, Tristan Thompson. They contributed big time here tonight for the Boston Celtics, man. A combined 21 points and 19 rebounds for those two guys. And they saw the Warriors Smalls and said, hey, it's barbecue chicken tonight. No Looney, no Wiseman, no Chris. We're going to do what we want inside. So those other players, too, for the Boston Celtics really supported Tatum and Brown and Kemba Walker tonight. As we look ahead to JTA, though, we got to talk about JTA. We're going to try to keep it as positive as much as possible here. JTA coming off the bench, hasn't played, inactive due to the two-way contract. But you know what? This guy's going to get some time here. Hopefully the shoulders are right. We saw them at the end of the game, but 6 for 9 from the floor, 3 threes, 16 points, Darrell. JTA was ready to go.
JTA, my boy, man. Great game. He stayed ready. He brought that energy. He knocked down some big threes. And he hustles. He plays hard. Every time he steps on the court, he brings that energy. He's one of those guys you don't have to worry about energy and effort because he's bringing it, and he understands when he gets that opportunity to seize the moment, and he definitely did that tonight. He was impressive.
And we talked about the bench stepping up. We talked about Brad Wanamaker, Eric Paschall, Damian Lee. JTA, we didn't know if he was going to play. He got in there, and he played a great game. Every night he's going to compete. He's going to play defense and hustle. But tonight in the third quarter, Brad Stevens changed his defense. He just went all out, doubling Steph Curry early, and he was the open man. JTA, he knocked down threes, had 9 points in the third quarter, got the Warriors back in the game.
You know what, JTA, we highlighted him early in the season. Remember, Millie, the Detroit game where he was running the floor, Steph fed him, played good defense, and he's active. And on this trip, when they go to Dallas and San Antonio, a guy like that is important. If he could hit that shot, it helps space the floor for the Golden State Warriors, and that's a big boost.
Absolutely. To me, he brings a lot of Draymond Green qualities, And if he's going to add 16 points,
right,
that's really valuable.
Yes, it is.
That is huge. That is huge. A three-point shot. He's been in the gym working here. That really surprised me there because he wasn't known as a shooter at Marquette, kind of like that role player, but he's worked.